Yo, with your boy, Project Bird.
So I'm here with the White Boyz Wit Attitude, Doc White and Crushed Ice. How's it going today, guys?
Yo,
What's up?
it's your boy, Crushed Ice.
And Doc White.
Nice. So I just got a few questions here for you today. I know you had mentioned Soulja Boy was an influence on you on your original work back in 2007. Did you see his attempt at breaking into the game industry last year?
Yes, we did. Yeah, Soulja Boy. He must have saw. He probably saw that we had some stuff playing with our game, and he was trying to copy us. That's how he rolls. He has no original ideas. He just copies.
Yeah. He was trying to scam people, you know? We weren't doing that. We weren't about that. We
That's
let
right,
that
that's
game
right.
out for free, man. Everybody could have that.
That's right.
Yeah, but there was like the Soulja game and the Soulja Boy game and system units and stuff.
And nobody was going to buy that.
I don't think anybody bought that.
But we had a lot of people play our game, though. People bought our album. Take that, Soulja Boy.
That's very true. You guys do have your own game. I don't think he actually has his own game, so.
No, he does not.
Oh, Soulja Boy.
Now, speaking of your new album, is The Pursuit of Money an entirely new album, or some kind of like greatest hits collection, or is there a way to hear the previous albums?
You want to take that, Crushed Ice?
So this is actually our fifth album, or what we consider to be our magnum opus. We've been working on this, I think, like 4 years now, right, Doc? I don't know.
That's a long
It was
time.
on and off. I'd say it was a side project kind of for 4 years, so it was on and off. Like I wouldn't say we worked on it for 4 years solid, but it was an on and off thing for 4 years. Yeah.
And then
And
I'm
it
not
was
sure
a,
if a lot of our other things are still out there to listen to. A lot of our like older albums that we worked on.
Yeah. I mean, do you know where we?
Well,
can
for a
find
while,
them,
I think we had. Originally, I think all the older stuff like So our fourth album was called North Goldenrod Eternal, and that was up online, and you can still find a few tracks, I think, on our YouTube channel.
Okay.
But the first three albums are totally offline. As far as I know, you can't find them anywhere on the internet. But one of the goals we had with the new album, The Pursuit of Money, was we kind of looked at it as a reboot of sorts, and we took our favorite songs from the first four albums, and we re-recorded them, and in some cases we touched up the verses a little bit, and then we also recorded, I think, 8 new songs. So there's 30 songs total. Most of them are older songs, but there's some new stuff on there as well. So it's kind of like a reboot, I guess, with some old and new content. So
I see.
Yeah, we also re-recorded a lot of the skits. We use a lot of skits in our albums to like tell a story, and we re-recorded almost all of them. So that was cool to do as well.
That's cool.
yeah.
So it's almost like a remastered sort of thing.
Yeah, I'd say so in a way. Yeah, some of those songs that we wrote, like we started doing this back in 2007, and sometimes you look back and it's like, man, I could have done a lot better. But some of the verses we kept. But I know in my case, Crushed Ice was always a good rapper, but I started off really bad. I had to learn. If you listen to our old albums, like I kind of progress. Like I was really bad in the first album, now I'm just bad.
Yeah,
I mean, a little bit of
I also think you were bad on purpose in a lot of songs at first, because it was really just a joke, I guess.
Yeah, I didn't care. Yeah, I didn't take it seriously. Yeah.
Like an ironic thing, sort of.
Yes, yeah. Yep.
Okay, I see.
And it's weird because now we've been really focused on making not just like the lyrics good, but like we've been very dedicated to making our verses and our rap like be very, very good. So.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time on the flow of things. Like sometimes our lyrics are just stupid. Like there's a lot of that we keep the subject matter stupid or like satirical, but we try and take the musical aspect of it, like the flows and stuff. We try and take that seriously, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. I mean, and that definitely shows. Like, I mean, you can still have the lyrics don't have to necessarily, go towards a certain direction, while the music can still become better and better over time, sort of thing. So.
Yeah, that's definitely what we were aiming for sure.
Yeah. Now, I did try to buy The Pursuit of Money on iTunes. I do actually have it on my PlayStation account from the PlayStation Store. But I mean, normally, I'm primarily listening to music like on my phone and that sort of thing. It's not actually available on iTunes in Canada. It doesn't seem like, though. Any plans for that, or? Oh
yeah. So when we originally put that up, I I'm not actually sure why it doesn't show up in Canada. It should have, I thought, because I marked like all, you can choose like what stores you want to submit to and what. I never saw like a region option, so I just assumed it was worldwide in all of those stores. I'm not exactly sure what the issue is about that. I don't know. It's the only thing I noticed that was a little strange about the iTunes release is they marked all of the songs as having explicit content, which we have the parental advisory sticker like as a joke on the album cover. So maybe they saw that and marked it. So maybe there's some weird Canadian thing where you can't have songs like that. That doesn't really make sense to me, but I don't know.
We don't cuss a single time in the entire album.
Yeah, I did actually notice that. Like, it's pretty. I mean, it's relatively tame, like compared to a lot of other rappers and stuff, right?
Yeah. I mean, we have a song called "White Boys Don't Cuss."
It's pretty PG.
And, it's pretty PG. Yeah, but they still. And also a funny story. When originally the game was rated, I guess apparently, we didn't have there's the descriptor, so it was T for teen, and then I think we had a suggestive theme, like marking because of one of the lyrics in the song. But then after the game came out, apparently someone complained or someone from ESRB played the game and they went and edited it. They like changed the rating. It's still T for teen, but now it says we have drug references and language. It's like, I don't think that's accurate, but I guess because we say things like shiz, like we have like these kind of like, winky kind of
the
almost
slang.
cuss word words.
Yeah.
Right. And I guess it's close enough. They count it as a cuss word. So I don't know. I'm not sure the logic on that. But.
I mean, I guess like the perp is like obviously like, I mean, yeah, it's grape soda in the I mean, I guess you could take it another way too, right? It's like, it's obviously like drinking culture sort of thing.
Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, I guess these things happen, but so what made you decide to create a game tie-in for the latest release of this album, The Pursuit of Money?
Well, we've been on the pursuit of money for a long time, and back in 2015, so I'm a game developer. If people didn't know that, I make serious games besides this. And in 2015, I put out a game called Pillar for PlayStation 4, and I put out a soundtrack for it as well. So I kind of noticed that PlayStation had this really cool ability to sell soundtracks, and you could kind of tie it in with the game. And that kind of sparked the idea of, wouldn't it be cool to make a game entirely centered around music, or like an album? Yeah. And I had recorded a concept album entirely with the purpose of like trying to sync it with the game. Like the idea was the music would be kind of dynamic, and as you played the game, you could experience the song in a different way.
Yeah.
And I prototyped that, and I wasn't really happy with how it was playing. Like, it was an interesting concept, but it just wasn't executing really well. So I scrapped that idea. And then at the same time, we were playing a White Boyz Wit Attitude show. It was like a farewell show because we wanted to end the project many times. This was one of our many farewell shows. And
I see.
We decided after it was over, everybody seemed to really like it. Like, we had like 50 people at the show, and they were really amped up about it. And I realized that we had all of these songs that we had written, and it just seemed like we were sitting on them. So I kind of came up with the idea, well, why don't we try and merge these ideas I had of like the kind of interactive music videos, and trying to merge that with White Boyz, and then we started the new album.
Yeah.
And started the game at the same time. So.
Okay, I see. Yeah, it's definitely a really interesting idea. Like I haven't, when I played the game and I was thinking about it for a few minutes, like I realized I hadn't really seen this sort of thing done too many times before. At least not like through the console market. Like, I'm sure there's plenty of like cell phone games and stuff like that, but something on like a console that you can play like on your TV or whatever, that's like a tie-in to an album or something. Like, I hadn't really seen that before.
Well, I had to get special permission to do it, actually, because it was the first time anyone had done that on PlayStation, and I had to kind of pitch the idea. So you normally go through like a normal certification process, like everyone goes through that, and we did that, but then I had to go through an additional pitch explaining like what the purpose of the game was, and like, usually when you're a freemium game, you're trying to sell levels and stuff. I had to explain to them like, hey, we're trying to use it to sell the album. What do you think about that? And so on.
Yeah.
And they thought it was cool, and they approved it. So that was kind of neat to know that we were the first ones on PlayStation, at least, to try it.
It's pretty cool because when the game first came out, there were so many people on Instagram and YouTube just completely confused as to why there was a full album on PlayStation. And we some famous producer on Instagram even reached out to us and was like, I want to talk to you guys. How'd you guys do that? Like everybody was like really
Really?
shocked. It's pretty cool. Yeah.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
I know,
cool.
so I have seen it before, like where, for example, like with Death Stranding, like I bought that game and I got like a digital soundtrack for it, right? For buying the
Yeah.
game sort of thing, as like DLC almost. But I had never seen it where it actually, the album was sold on the store, piecemeal sort of thing, or like anything like that before.
Yeah, well, so that's you can always sell game soundtracks, but the thing is, I guess what was different about our pitch was that like the whole game was centered around selling the album, and so that was what was different. That's why they wanted to get approval, I guess, because they didn't have anything in their rules.
Yeah, 'cause
So,
that makes sense, I
yeah.
guess. So I mean, I guess technically then like it could just become like a music service at some point or something in a way, like if other people decided to do the same sort of thing.
Yeah, I think that'd be cool. I'm not sure if people will keep. I've had a lot of people message saying that they're interested in doing something like that, but I'm not really sure how many people will try because it is a decent amount of work to make a game for consoles, and it was a lot of people kind of describe this as like a high effort troll,
Yeah.
and that's kind of what it was. Like a lot of people have they're not as willing as I am to spend time trolling like that. So.
Yeah, it's understandable, I guess. Speaking of like the approval process and stuff, like did you try to push for a platinum trophy when you pitched the idea, or?
Well, for that, they have very specific rules about what games can have platinums and what can't. And I unfortunately, I can't really. That's one of like the contractual things I can't talk about. But
Okay.
we just didn't qualify for that.
Yeah,
Long
no
story
worries.
short, so yeah, a lot of people I know are curious. Like we've been on some of these trophy hunter podcasts, and everybody wants to know why didn't it have a platinum? And it's like, well, I don't know. It's just the way we had to do it. So
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really need a platinum. I mean, I'm not a trophy hunter myself. I do collect trophies, but it's just whatever. If I'm playing the game and I'm enjoying it, if I get the trophies, cool. If I really really like the game, I'll try to like master it or get all the trophies or whatever. But
yeah,
it doesn't. At
that's
the
how I
end
am
of the day,
too.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I use it as a guideline, just like, oh, hey, maybe here's some new things I can do, as like a directional guide. But yeah, I'm not really much of a trophy hunter either. Crushed Ice, he's not a trophy
used to
hunter,
be.
but he was an achievement hunter for a while. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's for sure. It's I don't have time for that anymore.
Yeah, I did used to be the same way as well. Like on my old Xbox 360, like I remember playing like I think like the Avatar game or something, and it was like really really bad. But you could play it for like 5 minutes and get like 1,000 gamer score or something.
Yeah, I remember that.
Now speaking of is there anything else that you can actually speak on about like how do you pitch the game to Sony or like the approval process for it? Could you elaborate? Or?
Well, I mean, the general idea of it is that I gave them a playable demo of the game and like a design document, and basically it was just kind of like your standard pitch that you would see probably anywhere else in the industry. Just it wasn't a final version of the game.
Yeah.
Actually, the only thing that was in there was the Mount Vernon level, and I told them that the art was placeholder, but we ended up shipping with that art.
Nice.
But that's how it went. Yeah.
Nice. So hold on. So originally the game wasn't necessarily supposed to, like, from my perspective of the game, it's more like it's designed around being like a rhythm game. But like the Mount Vernon level is more just like an arcade game kind of thing with like the music playing in the background.
Well, I tried to time the jumps to be kind of to the beat. It's not like really strict, but like loosely, I was trying to make it kind of rhythmy, like where you had to jump over the boxes kind of on the downbeat and stuff. But I wouldn't say it was a rhythm game. It's an on-rails shooter with music playing. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely did notice that. Like, it does seem like some of the elements of the like what you're doing are synced to the music to some degree.
Yes, yeah, to a little. It's loose. I'd say it's a loose syncage. Yeah.
Yeah, that's still cool though. I like seeing stuff like that in like other games where it's like it's not specifically saying it's a rhythm game, but it's sort of like loosely based on that sort of that idea, I guess.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah, I really love rhythm games, and it's a shame that they kind of died out. But it just seemed like they were just kind of doing the Call of Duty thing and just churning out the same thing. And eventually, people get sick of that. Well, apparently not with Call of Duty. People are still going with that.
Apparently not.
Oh yeah. That's to me, like Call of Duty is sort of like one of those things where it's more like, I don't know, just like if you play Call of Duty, you play Call of Duty, and like
Yeah.
you're buying the console or playing it on your PC for like that's the only thing you play for the most part.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's
Like
how we are with Battlefield, kind of. I'd say.
Oh, you guys are like really big into
Yeah,
Battlefield?
I'm a bigger Battlefield fan than Call of Duty. Actually, I don't think I've played any Call of Duty games since the original Modern Warfare 2. That's a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's probably like the best one though, to be honest. Like
Yeah.
that was a really good game back in the day. So Doc White, so you programmed all 3 of the interactive music videos then, right?
Yes, I did. That was me. Yep.
Okay, cool. So I just wanted to ask you a few questions about the motion controls and stuff. So I think I figured out some of the tricks. So like
Oh.
it seems like you can sort of, so at least in Money's in the Bank, you can kind of get
Yeah.
away with like, so if it's like left and right or up and down, you can either
Yeah.
use like it seems like everything's sort of like tied to either the vertical or the horizontal axes.
Yes. Yes. That is true.
Okay, so so you can basically just like wave the controller either back and forth really fast or like up and
Yes,
down,
yeah.
depending on like which way the notes are going. And
Yeah,
it seems,
that's correct. Yeah.
it seems to work. Okay.
It does. Yeah. That's how I test it. Yeah.
So I tried the same thing in Where the Perp as well, and it actually seemed to work the same sort of way, except for like I know you're supposed to be doing like the actual gestures of like what the dance moves are, and like
Yes.
for several hours of playing the game, like when I first started, this is, keep in mind, like a lot of drinks involved too, but like I was trying to like actually imitate everything like perfectly, and like I would always get tied up on the shake it up part,
Yeah.
because I'd be like trying to like shake it in a circle like the way it's showing it, but it, for whatever reason, it just wouldn't trigger it sometimes. Like it was like completely
Yeah.
random. So I started
Yeah.
just kind of like moving it like almost like you're driving a steering wheel back and forth really quick, like
Yeah.
doing like a motion like this. You can't see me on screen right now, but it'll be in the recording. But doing it almost like a steering
okay.
wheel back and forth really fast, and that seems to like work. Like the first time I already got the 100%, but then I went back to it after just to like show some people, like testing out the theory, and it seemed to work just like doing that, and I got 100% on like the first try.
Yeah, so the shake is kind of, I wouldn't say it's buggy, right? Like people have said, oh, the game has bugs. It's not buggy. It's just like that's not what the controller is really designed to do, like
Yeah.
what we're making it do. So like there's 2 different ways. There's 2 different ways that you can kind of detect the motion controls. There's what they call acceleration, which that's the vertical and horizontal, like the left, right, forward, and back.
Okay,
And normally what that's used for, have you played the game Flower by any chance?
I have.
Or,
Yeah, that's a really good game.
Okay, that is a good game. Well, if you notice in that game, it uses motion controls, and it's using the acceleration to like accelerate your flower, right? It's not used for like these immediate kind of rhythm pickups or whatever.
Yeah.
But that kind of worked, right? Like that sort of worked. But the one that didn't work as well was the shaking, and the way I had to program that is if there's not, you can check the acceleration or you can check what they call the velocity. That's basically how fast the controller is moving overall, or how much, I guess, right?
So like
So-
kind of like the acceleration or something, like how fast you're like you're jerking it, or like moving
Yes,
it quickly
yeah.
in a rapid pace sort of thing.
Yeah, you just have to move the controller at a certain speed for it to pick up. So I don't know. There's a certain kind of angle I noticed when I was testing the game that it seems to always pick up. But to be honest, like we never play tested that level because by the time that I had finished it, like all of the COVID-19 stuff came down,
Oh yeah.
and like
okay.
I wasn't able to like, because usually what I do is I invite people over to the house to test the games,
Yeah.
but like everybody was locked down, the state had closed down, and all this, so it's like, well, I don't know, like we've got placeholder art in Mount Vernon that I'm obviously not going to change. Like, screw it, let's just launch the game,
Yeah, for sure. You're referring to Where the Perp or Money's in the Bank?
Oh, we're the perp. Yeah, the shape. Yeah, we never tested Money's in the Bank either, but the directional input,
It's
like I'm
much
pretty
easier.
sure works pretty decently. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's the shaking that maybe I could like tune it down a little bit, but really, like I said, the problem is just it's not designed. The controller's not designed for what I was making it do. But since it was just kind of like a joke or whatever,
Yeah.
and it's free, I was like, well, it's kind of funny. We'll just put it up,
No, it's understandable. Yeah, it's. I was just because like once I started playing it, I aimed to get the 100% right. So it was like I
Yes,
kept playing
yeah.
it over and over, and like I said, I mean, I was on my stream that night, and I was like drinking with my friends and stuff, and like it just got to the point where I was like, oh my god, like I don't know what I'm doing wrong, and then
Yeah.
I went to sleep, and then I woke up a few hours later, and I was trying it again, and it was just eventually I got it, but then like
it's doable for sure, but you might have to take a few goes
funny.
at it. Yeah.
It's funny because we had a couple of people message us too, and they're like, you can just 100% the game just by banging the controller on a table or something, and we're like,
see, I tried that though. See, I definitely like I tried out all the things because like I actually played quite a lot of rhythm games, and I've definitely tried that before in other games where it's just like if it's motion controlled, can you just shake it over and over and over, and does it work? And it didn't work in that, so like I don't know, like it did on some of the things, but for like the shake it parts and then the parts where you have to like tilt it to the side, like it didn't seem to work too well. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Have you? Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. What?
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, have any of you guys ever played Parappa the Rapper?
Oh no, but I have heard of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't played it either, but it's, I mean, looking at it now, that character is very. I've seen him like everywhere. I never really knew where it was from, but yeah, I've heard about it.
Okay,
I think they made a remaster for it or something, didn't they?
Yeah, they remastered it later on the PS4 and stuff, and they just sort of like
that's cool.
updated the art style and stuff. It still looks pretty cool though, because it's like this weird, like paper cutout sort of thing, and it's like everything is like flat, but it still moves in like a 3D space. It looks pretty sweet.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. I feel like these like the stylized games, they seem to age better graphically.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's cool.
Yeah, that's kind of like I think that's the very first rhythm game I'd ever played. And I think it's probably one of the original. Like I can't really think of anything before that was doing the same sort of thing.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I should play that. That sounds like a classic that needs to be enjoyed.
Yeah. It literally only takes like 2 or 3 hours to beat too. Like it's over in no time, and there's like a bit of story stuff in between, and it's just, I don't know, it's a fun game. It's always been one of my favorites personally, but
that's cool. If it's on PS4, then I have no excuse to check it out.
Could you guys explain where the perp for the listeners?
You want to take that, Crushed Eyes?
Well, so this whole thing started, obviously, I mean, we mentioned Soulja Boy before, and now, at that time he had that dance, what was it, the Crank Dat, or whatever it was?
Yeah, the Crank Dat, Soulja Boy.
Yeah, there's like this huge movement, right, for like these dances, and I guess it's still going on, where people, I guess everything now is on TikTok, right? Everybody does these dances. It's the new fad, right? But that's what we were trying to do, just kind of take inspiration from Soulja Boy and kind of turn it around and kind of make fun of the whole dance fad thing.
Okay.
One day we were talking on Yahoo Messenger, and were you going to mention the Audible part of the story?
Oh yeah,
I mentioned that.
That's the original. Yeah, so the original song, it's not what everybody has heard. We had this little Audible thing on Yahoo that you can send to people, and it like had this little character do a little animation, and they'll say a word, and there was one that said, "Start wearing purple for me now." And then I just thought it was hilarious, and Michael had made a beat, and like I was able to, I had the idea to put this sample on over the beat, and it was like perfect on beat, and we were like, all right, we're gonna make a song about wearing perp, and then we just had to go ahead, Mike.
Oh, I was gonna say, what I remember from that conversation was we were talking about Soulja Boy again, and you're like, yeah, we'll just throw this on it, and we'll like pour purple on her shirt, and there you go, that's a hit track.
Yeah.
Was that like Bonsai Buddy or something weird like that? The purple gorilla?
No, I've never heard of that.
No, I haven't heard of that either.
Wait, you haven't seen Bonsai Buddy?
Is that a Canadian thing?
I'm not sure. So it was like this weird, so it was kind of like a Yahoo Messenger, like it was like a browser extension sort of thing, but like in the early 2000s, and it was kind of like this purple gorilla that like you just kind of like put in the corner of your screen, and it's like it's almost like a Google search bar or something, and it talks to you.
I vaguely remember that. It's
weird
I don't think I ever had it installed. Yeah, there's a bunch of weird things from the early 2000s. They're kind of strange.
Yeah.
I remember they had a bunch of the text to speech programs were really hot. I still play around with those, make them say funny things or whatever. I remember you could have like a browser install, like an add-on for some little robot people that would talk and stuff. Yeah, those are weird times.
Yeah, those are pretty fun though.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I remember. I think I can't remember where I got it from, but I remember having that. Like, how old are you guys?
I'm 27.
I'll be 30 in a month.
Oh, okay. Yes,
A month. Yeah, I'm old.
I'm turning 35 in like a month, so I'm definitely older
Oh,
than you
sorry,
guys.
no offense. I'm getting there, man. I definitely feel older. Definitely feeling that.
Yeah, for sure. But do you either of you have a preferred grape soda, and do you call it pop or do you call it soda?
I'll definitely call it soda.
Yeah, soda. Yeah, I think pop's That's a northern term, I believe. We're both somewhat in the south. I think everyone says soda down here.
I find that hilarious because
I always loved Sunkist. I know Sunkist was primarily orange soda, but they had I don't know if they still do. I know for a while they had a grape soda, a Sunkist grape
they do.
soda. That was cool. But speaking of getting older, I've had to cut down on soda a lot. I haven't had soda in over a year now.
Oh, really?
So,
Oh, nice.
yeah,
Wow.
I'm pretty proud of that. I'm just trying.
I didn't know you were doing that.
That's impressive, dude. Honestly, because I drink, I'm the same way. I've been drinking Coca-Cola since I was 5 or 6, possibly even in the womb.
I didn't even know you stopped drinking soda crushed ice. I remember you drank all the time.
Yeah, I drank at least a can a day, but
Yeah.
it's hard the first month, but once you get through that, it's I don't ever crave it anymore, and just the thought of it kind of disgusts me. It's weird. It's a weird feeling because once you get past that initial month or two,
yeah,
you don't even think about it.
That's how I am with fast food. When I was in high school, we could leave campus for lunch, and we'd always go to McDonald's or some greasy joint or whatever. I ate there every day, and then after high school, I didn't go for fast food for 6 months or something like that, and I went back and I ate at McDonald's or something. It made me sick. And it's and I never since then I've avoided the hardcore greasy stuff. I don't know. It's kind of weird, but I guess your body gets used to certain things, and then you wean off of it, and you realize
that's very
maybe
true,
how bad it was for you. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy though. I've gone I can go a week without drinking any pop, as I call it in Canada here. But I don't know. It just I crave the carbonation primarily. That's the main thing. I think it's not really it's less so the taste than it is if pop flat Coke is disgusting. And flat Pepsi and you need to have the bubbles, right?
Yeah.
And I've tried drinking there's some soda water that I've tried that's pretty good. There's some peach flavored ones that are pretty solid. And
what about carbonated water? Why don't you just?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that though. I'm really not.
I understand. Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't really have sugar in it or anything. It's just it's flavored somehow. But it's not strong enough that it's weird. Like plain soda water, I don't really like either. It tastes like salt. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah. I've never been much of a soda person. I never got started. Mainly I just drink water and green tea. I don't even really drink alcohol that much. Everyone always gives me crap for that. I don't know. I just water and green tea. That's why I drink. Really.
Yeah. Green tea is definitely delicious. I haven't had green tea for a while though. Regular water is I love water, but only if I'm quenched. If I need to quench my thirst, I'll drink water. If if I'm at work and I'm working hard and then I go get a drink, water's fine. But if I'm just sitting at home and I'm just oh, I'll go to the fridge and grab a drink or whatever, the sink. Water, I don't know, it doesn't do it for me for whatever reason.
It does it for your body though, man. You gotta have that water.
Yeah, I mean, I've been lately. I've been trying to drink a couple bottles of water a day or something, or a couple.
Yeah, it's what most people say, but that sounds like a lot to me as well.
Yeah,
gallon a day. That's crazy.
Yeah, that it's insane. You're supposed to drink I think it's 3 liters a day or something crazy like that. I think I drink about maybe just over a liter to a liter and a half a day, and then at work I'll have a frappuccino and a Coke or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like maybe I'm not a doctor, but it makes sense to me that maybe different body types require different levels of water. I don't know if that's a thing, but that makes sense to me.
Sense.
Yeah,
Well, it's like
I don't know.
Like the other stuff, like technically does constitute as water, if I understand it
true,
correctly.
yeah.
It's just like it's not as like it's not good for you either. But
And the worst thing that a lot of those drinks have is just the sugar.
It's the sugar, yeah, exactly. That's the main thing that's hurting your body. But anyways, I'm gonna do a shot now. So cheers to you guys.
Right. Let me get my water.
Yeah, same here. I got my.
Yeah, just kind of custom on my stream to be doing shots fairly often, so figured I'd
nice.
bring this, and if you guys want to cheers me in some sort of way, that's cool.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys.
There's a WWA shot right there.
Kanpai! So you guys grew up together on a farm?
Not quite.
Wait, what?
That's how a story goes, but.
But yeah. We're farmers. Yeah, of course. That's right.
Wait, so there's no farming involved?
Okay. Well, I guess we can come clean on the real story. We met on a Star Wars fan site.
Oh yeah.
And then became farmers.
Wait, did like one of you read like Baby Yoda fan fiction or something?
No,
this was way before Baby Yoda. You guys remember Battlefront 2? Yeah, the original Battlefront 2, not the new one.
Oh, like a Battlefront 2, like a message board or a forum or something.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's a whole story in its whole thing. We actually like there's this site for Battlefront 2 and everybody, we had all these friends on there, and we actually like staged a coup and took over the site. That's a good story. It sounds ridiculous, but it's true. It really happened.
Yeah, I banned myself when I was the administrator. we did all kinds of stupid stuff. I was like 12 or 13. I don't know. Yeah, it was dumb.
Yeah, so we met on that site, but we had a lot of like things in common, especially when it came to music and video games and stuff. So, and Doc White's always been a musician. He's always done all sorts of things with music. So yeah, we started working on stuff periodically here and there since early on. And we met on that site. We met in person a couple times, and then he moved down towards my area for school, and we moved in together for a while. But yeah, we've known each other for a while, but we've pretty much lived in separate states for the majority of it.
I see.
Yeah. The first album for WWA we recorded entirely through the internet. The second one he came up and we recorded it at my place. Okay. And then for the third and fourth one and fifth one actually, we recorded that together. The third and fourth one while we were living together. So most of the music was while we were living together, while I was going to college. So. Oh,
I see. Okay. So like you basically like recorded your verse or whatever, and like someone sent the other person the beat, and then you basically laid it down over top of it, stuff like that.
Yeah, like a back and forth.
Going back and forth.
Yeah.
That's cool. So what's the deal with like the farm thing then? Like,
well, it's sort of inspired by real life, I guess. Growing up, I lived next to a farm, so I was the rural boy. Yeah, I was the country boy, and he was the city boy, and I was like the joke or whatever. But we thought it'd be funny to just just say the whole thing was from a farm or whatever. But I don't know anything about farming.
He lives in the middle of nowhere. When I first went to visit him, I've always lived in a city, and he lives literally in the middle of nowhere is what I see it. That's what I think. Like he has deer running around in his backyard.
Deer?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Oh,
deer. Yeah.
So so it's reindeer. So that explains like the Mount Vernon like video and stuff.
Yeah,
then, or
so that was actually inspired by real life. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So actually, what inspired that gameplay was one night back in 2015. It was right after that Kendrick Lamar album dropped. I was listening to Kendrick Lamar. That's why I remember. I was going down the road at night, and a deer jumped in front of my car, and I hit it. And I'm pretty sure I killed the deer. It ran off, and it screwed up my car. I had to go get it fixed. But like where I'm from, that happens all the time. Like deer will wreck people's cars. Like we even have specific like deer insurance.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No,
So-
it's the same here too, man. There's like
Oh, is it? Yeah.
well, not like reindeer, but like there's there's definitely like deer and stuff like that in certain places around where I live, and it's the same sort of thing. Yeah, like they're crazy. Like the antlers are huge, and like a moose.
Yeah.
Like imagine if you hit a moose, like
Oh yeah.
that thing's like bigger than your car. It's gonna screw
Yeah,
it
it
up.
is. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. It's like everyone laughs like from the like Adrian when I talked to or Crushed Ice. I'm sorry, when I talked to him. God dang it, Crushed Ice. I flubbed.
I've said your name many times.
Oh, did you? Oh, okay. Where I told Crushed Ice about the deer or whatever, like he thinks it's a joke because like he's never seen deer or whatever. But yeah, dude, they're deadly. Like it happens all the time, and they're so stupid too. Like there's times like I'll be driving and they're there on the side of the road. I'll honk and they look at my car, and they still like walk right in front of my car. It's like wow, okay. So yeah, it's a big obstacle out here for sure.
That's crazy though. So you actually hit a deer, and it
Yeah.
like it shambled off, or like the car got totaled, or like what happened?
Well, I mean, I've had plenty of people in my family that it's totaled their car whenever they hit a deer. Luckily, I hit the brakes, so it was like a little love tap. Like it was like a
Okay.
little boom. But I had to get a new hood. Like it screwed up my hood, but my car wasn't totaled. But I still had to go get repairs on the car. Like it left a pretty decent dent.
Yeah.
And like I said, I imagine I punctured some type of internal. Like it ran off, but I can't imagine it lived. I'm pretty sure I punctured some type of internal organ of some kind, but or maybe it lived. I don't know. That's who knows?
unfortunate. I mean, I guess that's a
Yeah.
mystery that we'll never find out.
Yeah, I would be curious to know, but never will.
So like I've watched all the like the actual music videos like on your YouTube channel, and I watched the music video for Mount Vernon, and to be honest, I didn't actually see any barnyard animals wandering the streets or anything. What's up with that?
Well, I was in when that was recorded. There's Broadway. That's like the main street that kind of goes through everything, and that's where we recorded most of it. Like if I would have went on the outskirts of Mount Vernon, that's where you would have saw like the wildlife and stuff, like the deer running across the street and stuff.
Yeah.
So where I was at, you normally don't see animals like deer running around. But I say it's a pretty rural town for sure.
Yeah.
But we didn't show the outskirts. I was concerned. I had there's comments. It's actually kind of going viral in the town right now. We've had like 4,000 views from people in Mount Vernon. They didn't know that I had recorded the video. Everyone's like, "Why didn't you come down my street? Why didn't you come down my street?" I was like, I was trying to not get people's houses. Like we try to keep it to just kind of the main public area or whatever. So
Yeah. Wait, so they were like, "Oh, why didn't you guys like feature us?" sort of thing, like.
Yes, yeah, they want to know why we didn't, because there was a certain parts of town we didn't go through and all this, and I was getting flack for it. I still am,
hilarious.
unfortunately.
How many people
Yeah.
live there?
About 16,000.
16,000. Okay, so that's like
Yeah.
it's not the smallest town, but it's not the biggest either. Like it's sort of like
Right, yeah.
okay,
That's
I see.
right, yeah.
Yeah, 'cause where I live, it's like the city I live in. It's like 500,000 people.
Oh, yeah, that's big.
And it's still it's like it's weird though because like Toronto is like right beside me basically, and then like Toronto is like way bigger than Hamilton. So my perspective on like small and big is like totally different.
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah.
Yeah. There is
That's cool.
like it's actually kind of funny though because like my best friend he grew up on a farm too sort of thing, and it was the same sort of like dynamic. I was always like, oh, let's go, but he lives like it's like a 10-minute drive from me, but it's like it's still in the middle of nowhere, so it's like
Yeah.
so I was like, oh, let's go out to the farm, or it's basically the exact same sort of thing, to be honest. And we'd go out there.
Is it? Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know where we're coming from then. That's good. That's good.
Now, is there any sort of what sort of like skill crossover exists between working on a farm and making rap music? You
Well,
worked on a farm, did you not?
Yes, that is true. The story, the album is like one big story, and I won't spoil all of it, but in the beginning, the story goes that Crushed Ice and I were kind of abandoned. This was kind of implied, but we were abandoned, and our mentor, Six Pack, he ran a farm, and he kind of took us in under his wing and taught us how to rap. And so he kind of mentored us and showed us, helped us hone our skills. And then
Okay.
we leave the farm, and go out into the world for our little adventure.
So it's like Six Pac. That sounds kind of familiar.
Yes.
Like maybe like there's Tupac. That sounds like Tupac.
Yes, yeah.
Oh man.
So
Well, that was a joke too. Like originally, like I'm from such like a hardcore like backwards. Like I heard someone when I was younger say they called Tupac Tupac. I just thought it always stuck with me for some reason. So when we were naming these characters, I was like, let's call him Six Pack because that kind of makes sense, you know.
Yeah, but he's supposed to be like some big, like fat, chubby guy. So like, it's probably like he drinks a lot of beer or something. I think that's
Right,
the
yeah,
original
yeah.
thing. Is like we'll call him Six Pack because he's always drinking like 6 packs
Right,
of beer.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was the thought.
It's kind of
But
that's kind of like
it's
a what's the word for that? It's almost like because when someone says six pack, it can also refer to like abs as well, right?
That's true. Yes, that is true.
But if he's
Yeah.
like drinking beer all the time,
it's the opposite.
It's the
completely
opposite.
It's up to the imagination. That's
So
the
it's
cool
like-
thing about doing the skits. You can just imagine them looking however you want, I guess. Yeah.
so it's like almost like some kind of like strange juxtaposition or something, like where it's like six pack or six pack. So you're thinking, whoa, does he have like a 6-pack of abs, or like is it a 6-pack of beer? That's actually
Right,
pretty
exactly, yeah.
funny. I like that.
Thank you.
It's so like this. There's like a story sort of thing, almost like kind of like a Wu-Tang,
Yeah,
sort
yeah.
of like the chambers and stuff.
Yeah.
That sort of thing.
Yeah,
Like
there's
your
definitely a story in the whole album. I mean, it's almost like the hero's journey in a way, but yeah, there's definitely a middle beginning. I mean, a beginning, a middle with a climax, and then like a resolution kind of thing.
nice.
Yeah.
That's cool. And this is on like the Pursuit of Money, or just like in general across your albums.
Well, you know, so the first album we did a few skits, but I wouldn't say it was like a story album. And the second album it was also, I wouldn't say a story album, but on the third album we started making the records almost like we want to make it like a movie, I'd say. Would you say that's accurate, Crushed Ice? I'd say with the third album we started, yeah. And so we started looking at it as like track one's the start of the story, and from then on out, like everything should kind of flow like a movie. The first two albums were kind of fragmented, like here's some songs and maybe a random skit or something, and then we kept the movie type format for the Pursuit of Money because we kind of like that. So
Well, we kind of retold a lot of the stories since we're using a lot of those older songs, just like remastered.
Yeah.
We definitely retold the story. Definitely, there were definitely some influences from "Good Kid, Mad City" by Kendrick Lamar, which is also kind of like a movie album.
yeah, it
Yeah.
is, yeah.
I know Doc White was a huge fan of that one back during that time.
Yeah, actually, when I drove down to start recording The Pursuit of Money, and that's the album I was listening to, and it was really inspiring for the overall kind of vision of the album. Yeah,
That's cool. Yeah, I always like hearing about stuff like that, or like because like there's a lot of albums, like a lot of people try to like do that where it's like a concept album or something, and it's like you have to sort of like, but at the same time it's interesting because they have a specific concept for it, or like you have a specific context for it, but then the listener also has like their own, like, you know, they're interpreting their own ideas and like inserting things into it as well, and like trying to figure it out, sort of thing. It's like a puzzle almost.
Yeah.
Kind of cool.
yeah. I've always been a fan of the kind of the more story conceptual albums. Like that's, I'd say, I respect the album as like a experience, if that makes sense. Like I like to put on an album, and I appreciate artists that like think of the album from start to beginning and like the entire experience. Like I've never really been into the albums where it's like here's just a batch of songs or whatever.
100%.
Like, I like people who have a
100%.
respect for like the whole thing. Yeah.
And I'm not really liking where things are going in a lot of ways with the music industry these days, because especially with streaming, I think it's going more towards like just singles, you know, like artists will release singles here and there, and I think the art of the album's kind of dying a little bit. It's kind of sad.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
No, I do agree with that too. Like I definitely try my best too to like all of the artists and like the bands that I listen to and stuff. It's like I always try to listen to the actual album, because like even if it's not like a concept album, it's still like there's a way that the songs are arranged in a certain order. That's
Exactly.
Like,
yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
they do it for a
itself.
reason, right? Like it's not just
Exactly.
like
Yeah.
it's not just like a bunch of songs like just, oh hey, put that there, put there. Like it's supposed
Right,
to all
yeah.
like, you know what I mean? It's it's all
Yeah,
in a
there's
certain
art
place.
to the flow.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
And you can hear that too, like when you listen to like something like I've been really into Juice World. Like
Oh yeah, I know a few of his songs. I never heard an album from him.
yeah,
But
but like
I know.
I've been really into him, and like his like the album that released like a month or two ago, it's basically like post-mortem sort of thing, right? So it's like after he died, a bunch of like B-sides and stuff, I think it is. And it's you can hear it, like it's not like like a lot of the songs are good, don't get me wrong, but it's you can definitely hear it in the sense that like it's been arranged by like people that I don't know, like it's not like a personal sort of thing. Like you could tell just the way it's not spread out in the sort of way that you would expect. Just like song here, song here, song here, and a lot of them are good, but it's not the same thing.
And maybe it would be better if they just rearranged them in a different way, like the same songs just put in a different order might make the whole experience better.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what Crushed Ice. He's really notorious. Like back in the day, he would always send me mixtapes or like albums from artists that he liked, and I would start to notice as I listened to them, and then check the track listing on like Wikipedia. I noticed that my track listing on what he gave me was different than the one on Wikipedia. I was like, dude, what's going on with this? And he's like, oh, I changed the track listing. It flows better now. I think most of the time he actually did a better job. I was like, wow, this really is better. When I compare.
That's funny.
To me, it's more like I understand. You know, I respect the artist's intentions, right, or their purpose and what they were doing. But a lot of times, for me, I just personally, what I think sounds better for me.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and rearrange albums in that way, just to give me a better listen, like personally. Because I like when an album flows. You know, you have like upbeat tracks, and then it kind of slows down a little bit before it picks back up. But you know, sometimes albums have like 5 straight songs that are just like upbeat and like it kind of it just kind of becomes boring, I guess, if too much of those similar songs are together. So I do that all the time. I always rearrange things, but that's just a personal taste for me.
Yeah, no, that's cool too. I mean, that's the same. Like that's what's great about stuff like playlists and stuff too, because you can sort of like you can do that, and you can like make like a weird mix of like there's sort of an art to that too, right? It's a different sort of thing, but like even if you're just like making like a giant like mix of like different bands and artists or whatever, like it's still yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and I something cool that made me think about is one of my favorite genres is actually 90s electronic music. I spent most of my year listening, like trying to find like some hidden gems and stuff. And one of my favorite 90s people is Aphex Twin.
Oh yeah,
and he didn't put out any albums for like I think 11 years or something. And then he did that big SoundCloud dump where basically he just released like I think like thousands of songs, and he basically just like, hey, here you go, everybody. And now people are making their own fan albums. And it's so cool to listen. Like I was trying to make mine own as well, but like on YouTube, people have made like their own versions and their own artwork for it, and it's like that's actually really cool. I thought like, and the fans they had to respect like we were talking about like the flow was really good, and then I would find another fan version where they had similar songs but they arranged it different. It was like a totally different experience. I don't know. You made me think about that, and it was really cool. So. Yeah,
for sure. He had that album was called like the Drux or something.
Yeah, Drux, I think that's how you say it.
Yeah, I don't know how you say it exactly.
Yeah.
One of my good friends in high school used to listen to that album all the time. It's insanity though. Like it's like I
love that album.
I haven't heard it in like a really long time, but
yeah, it's good. I think it was a similar logic if I remember right when he released that album. I think if I remember an interview correctly, he said that this is just a dump of songs, and I expect people will remove the songs they don't like and rearrange it how they want. So I guess that was almost like in his SoundCloud dump, but just 11 years before or whatever it was. So yeah, it's kind of neat.
Yeah, cause I mean, it's definitely not like from what I remember of it. I haven't really listened to too much Aphex Twin, so I'm not like a huge like buff or anything. But I've heard his music before quite often, and it's not like from what I remember, there's not really any songs that are like standouts, I guess you would say, or like singles. It's more just like. Yeah, you just listen to like one big experience sort of thing. Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, he's one of my favorite artists, but whenever I talk to people about it, it's like I can't really recommend one song because
exactly. Yeah.
I'd say just like check out his discography, and each album's so different too. It's like it's kind of hard to talk about his music in that way, but I know what you're saying.
Like I definitely remember that album was like really like experimental though. Like I think the last time I heard it was I was in high school, and I was like Like, what is this? What is happening?
It's definitely pretty. I don't know. His stuff, it spans all types of different genres. I feel like, but that album was super experimental. It had like piano and stuff in it.
Yeah. Is it like
it was cool.
Is it like 2 discs or something?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I think it's like 30 songs long. It was 2 discs. Yeah. Yep.
So like that being said, like who are do you guys like have like who are some of your biggest inspirations, like both musically as well as like anything else?
You want to start Crushed Ice?
Tough question.
I feel like Crushed Ice. When it comes to White Boyz, Crushed Ice has been like the driving. Like he's the one that's brought like the music knowledge to this project. So I feel like he should go first.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to the White Boyz specifically, I mean, there's a lot of '90s rap. Number one by far is probably Bone Thugs and Harmony. They've definitely influenced both our. I guess we kind of sing a little bit in some of the songs, right? And that's part of like the harmony stuff, and also our flow, our like kind of fast and slow kind of flow. Definitely Bone Thugs and Harmony. I was a big fan of Outkast in the '90s. Our name is obviously inspired by NWA. I wasn't a big fan of a lot of their stuff. I did like their first album, Straight Out of Compton. That was a classic. Yeah, just a lot of '90s stuff, a lot of cool '90s stuff. More recently, Doc White actually, ironic, because he wasn't into a lot of this rap. I got him into rap, but more recently, he got me into like Kendrick Lamar and Vince Staples. People like that. So that's kind of what I've been listening lately.
Nice.
I'd say you were more into like the Dr. Dre solo records, because I remember you showing me the Chronic and all that, and that's an awesome album. That's one of my favorites. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah, that too. One of my favorites at the time was 2001 album.
2001 is like incredible. Like that's a legendary album.
I think I prefer that over the Chronic, but they're both really good. I was actually really disappointed he never like really released the Detox that he was planning on releasing. I know he released something that he considered his third album, but it was kind of a mess. I did not like it at all.
Yeah.
It was just called Compton, right? It came out with the movie, I think.
Like a soundtrack kind of thing.
I don't think he produced a lot of the songs on that, though, if I remember right. I think he produced some of it, but he brought in a lot of guest producers. It's like, no, I want that G-Funk sound.
That's what I want. Cool. And then besides rap, other stuff like one of the biggest influences Doc White also got me into was Radiohead. It's definitely a big one.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd say like when we first met, it seemed like we didn't have a lot in common musically. Like I was more into indie rock, and he was into a lot of rap, and we kind of bonded over that. Like he sent me mixtapes for Bone Thugs and Harmony and all these rappers. And, I would try and get him into, Radiohead or whatever the indie rock stuff I was listening to at the time was. And that was cool. Yeah, Arcade Fire and, kind of like the classic indie rock stuff. Yeah, they're Canadian.
They're Canadian, yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
I'm not, like, I think I've seen them before, like a really long time ago.
Really?
I've never really been too much into them, to be honest. Like, they're pretty cool. I respect what they do and everything, but my music tastes are like all over the place too. So
I understand that. Yeah, I saw them live with. I think Adrian did too. But I saw them with the National.
They're a cool band though, for sure. Oh, you saw them with the National?
Yeah. And actually,
the
members of the
National's
National came out and performed with them, so that was cool. I think 2 members from the National came out and performed with Arcade Fire for some songs. Yeah. That was kind of neat.
Oh, speaking of music and the National, so I'm not a big fan of Taylor Swift. Okay. But her latest album was co-written by Aaron Dessner from The National, and it's actually pretty good. So I suggest you guys check it out.
Nice.
We'll get that weak stuff out of here. We're the White Boyz Wit Attitude. You don't even recommend Taylor Swift.
You gotta give credit where it's due.
I mean, she's got a couple good songs. I mean, you can't not all of her music's the greatest, but...
And I thought it was cool. No, she writes her own songs, I think, so I respect her for that.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah.
That's which is respectable. Just want to say, Crazy Bone from Bone Thugs and Harmony is insane. He's one of the best rappers of all time.
That's I've had that mentality for years. That's what really got me into Bone Thugs. Actually, I found Crazy Bone first. I listened to his album, Thug Mentality.
Crazy Bone is insane.
Yeah, he's crazy. I remember, I think in the early 2000s there was like this beef between Crazy Bone and Twista at the time about like who's faster, who's better, and I was big into that. Yeah, I love Crazy Bone. Then Busy Bone's pretty good too, but he after a certain time he just hasn't been the same.
Yeah, I've dabbled in Bone Thugs and Harmony. Like I do like some of their songs. Yeah, they've got some really good songs. Have you ever listened to? Do you like? Are you into Chameleonaire?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of him, but I mean I know the song.
Well, I mean, have you like? I know there's like the whole Ride and Dirty and everything, but like, have you tried to like listen to him beyond that?
No, actually, never. I think around the time that Chameleonaire was starting to get really famous, I was starting to kind of wane off of rap a little bit. I was getting into other genres of music. I mean, I listen to all sorts of stuff now, but at that time specifically, I was starting to branch my taste a little bit. So I didn't really pay too much attention to him at that time.
If I might give like a humble recommendation, I for whatever reason I feel like you might actually really like Chameleonaire. He's got some really good songs, and yeah, like that album with Riding Dirty on it, like we're riding is what it's called.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's actually a really really good album, and he's got some other like really really good songs. I'm not into too much rap myself. Like there's definitely quite a few rappers that I'm really into, like Jurassic 5. And some other stuff like that. Jurassic 5's pretty old now too, and like Chelly Tuna. Yeah. He's amazing though. Have you ever heard Chelly Tuna?
I've not. I've heard of Jurassic 5. I've listened to some of their stuff too.
Yeah, I think personally they're some of the best rappers I've ever heard. Chelly Tuna from the Jurassic 5. That guy is incredible. His voice is so unique and he sounds so good rapping.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out.
Yeah,
is that 90s? Is that 90s group?
It's more like early 2000s. Like the J5 was around the early 2000s, and
oh, okay.
But yeah, like Chelly Tuna though, he just sort of does his own thing in collaborations with a bunch of other artists nowadays. It seems like, but he's really, really good. Like his voice is so like he's got this like super deep baritone voice, and like all of their lyrics are generally like super like linguistic and like they flow really well. They're pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I'll have to check them out.
Yeah, I'm always into trying out new music and stuff.
Yeah, I'm not trying to like plug anyone in particular here, but yeah, for Crushed Ice, for whatever reason, I think you would actually, if you checked out Chameleonaire and tried to listen to some of his stuff, I think you might quite like him.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you.
What are some of your favorite video games? Like, are you playing anything right now besides The Pursuit of Money?
I just picked up a puzzle game called Manifold Garden. I'm not sure if you've heard of it. It's
I have heard.
It reminds me of I'd say it reminds me of this game called Antechamber, which I really liked. But it's all about like manipulating the world. Like it's one of those games I struggle to even describe it. But if you watch a trailer, I think you'll see what's unique about the environments and the art and kind of the trippy visual aspect of it. In terms of my favorite games, my favorite game of all time is probably The Witness. I'd say is number one, but the Talos Principle is number two. Like those are kind of like philosophical puzzle games I really enjoyed. But I also really liked Knights of the Old Republic, Star Wars. That's like my favorite. It's like a classic RPG.
Yeah.
And I was recently replaying this game I really enjoyed back in I think 2005 it came out, or 2006. It's called The Movies by Lionhead Studios.
The Movies.
And I have to say, like,
that game was awesome.
That was a really unique game. I've never seen anything like it. Like,
it was ahead of its time.
It's like it was, yeah. And actually, what's crazy about it is actually it came out before YouTube. I noticed, like, it really was ahead of its time. But if people don't know the concept of it, this was made by the people who made Fable, and basically it's like a Sims game. Like you manage a movie studio, and you bring in the stars and bring in the directors, and you build your lot, and you have to take care of their needs, make sure they're happy, and all this stuff. But it also lets you film movies, and it comes with this built-in editor.
Yeah.
So like you can literally make your own movies with the game. And then they had this whole like online community where you'd upload the movies and people would like review it and give feedback and all this. Like it was such a cool, unique game,
You
and I
can
think it holds up
customize
pretty well
like
too.
everything, and you can customize all the characters, all the actors, their uniforms, their
I've never seen
outfits.
anything quite like that. That was a really nice game to replay recently. I would actually put that up in my top
Nice.
favorites too. I think. Yeah.
I just googled it. I do remember this game. Like I completely forgot about it. I never played it, but I remember like reading about it and stuff at the time. It's it's designed by Peter Molyneux.
Yeah,
Yes. It is. Yeah.
it is.
Yeah, it's really cool. I think there was an expansion pack, and I remember I picked that up, and it was good. Like it added some extra
Stunt
stuff,
double
but apparently,
stuff, right?
yeah, stunt doubles, yeah, or stunts and effects. That's what it was.
Yeah, there's something like that.
And they were going to bring a console version of it, but apparently it didn't sell well enough. And then right at this time, I think Microsoft acquired Lionhead. So
Okay,
kind of like
that
all
makes sense.
hopes of a sequel went out.
Yeah, and then
But keep in mind, man,
after that.
like that video service they had, like I said, that was before YouTube. It was like it was very much like it looked just like YouTube. So I don't know, like I'm really impressed with how ahead of its time that game was.
I know when I played that game at that time, a lot of people that were making movies made them. You know, they were maybe like 30 minutes long or like 20-minute videos.
Mm-hmm.
I got really ambitious once and created a full length, like an hour and 30-minute film. But
Really?
it was so big. It took like when you entered the game and you tried loading up the movie, it took like an hour just to load it. That's how many. I don't know if you remember.
That's crazy.
Doc White, when you would like save a movie, you'd have to load it, like to view it, you would load it. The longer it was, the longer it would take to load. So yeah, it took like almost an hour to load film that was an hour and a half. But I was really proud of that. It was about an alien invasion.
That's cool. You never showed me. I remember you never uploaded it. I don't think.
How would I have? I couldn't. It was too big. I didn't know how to do it.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
So did it have like a? I remember the game vaguely. Like I said, like I remember I think seeing like a review of it on like IGN or something like that. But like did it have some sort of like sharing service where you could sort of like view other people's movies?
Yeah.
And really?
Yeah. That's what was so cool about it.
That's impressive for.
Oh yeah, that's yeah. It's a real shame that it shut down because they had to take all the movies down. I remember people had made like music videos, and people were making like serious like documentary films about like political issues in France and all this like it was such an awesome little scene there for a while. But yeah, you would edit your own movie like using the game to make your movie, and then you would upload it, and then you would share it, and then they had like like people on the internet would come and watch your movie. It would look just like YouTube, basically, and then they leave like a 5-star, 1 to 5-star review, and then they had like leaderboards of like, here's the top 10 movies, the new releases, and here's the top 10 new sci-fi movies, and yeah, it was pretty cool.
That's also cool.
Shame I had to close down.
Yeah, people could like do customized outfits and like what are those things called, like what are the sets, like set drops and like back scenes. They could like customize all these things, and you can like download it. All these other things that people have created, you can download it to use it in your movie as well.
So like the assets and stuff.
Yeah.
I
mean,
it's
kind of like The Sims. So it's very similar to The Sims.
Yeah, it was similar to The Sims. Yeah, it's a semi type game.
Nice. Now, so Manifold Garden. Did that game come out on PC like a long time ago?
It came out for I think it came out as an Epic Game Store exclusive last year.
Okay.
And the exclusivity ran out and just recently launched for console and I think other PC platforms, like within the last month or so.
Yeah.
So yeah, I picked it up on Switch.
I see. Okay, yeah, because I was just in the PlayStation Store last weekend and I saw it in there and I was like, I've heard of that game before, but I thought it came out like a long time ago.
I think it's been in development for a really long time, yeah. So.
Yeah, I'm not really familiar with exactly what it is, so it's more like a narrative experience sort of thing.
Oh no, I'd say it's more of a abstract puzzler. Did you play Antechamber by any chance?
No, I haven't played that.
Okay, there's no story or anything. It's basically I'd say it's like a psychological puzzler.
Okay,
and there's really not any instruction. It's kind of like The Witness, I guess. There's not really any instruction. You just walk around and explore the environment and you solve puzzles.
Nice. Yeah. The Witness is an amazing game. I love that game.
Yeah, me too.
I got super hooked on that when it came out, and like the only thing I didn't do was the final puzzle, like the giant one where you have to like, it's like a culmination of like everything you've learned throughout the game. like all the
and
rules
it's
and stuff.
timed.
Yeah, and it's timed. Yeah, I tried for like probably 3 or 4 hours to finish that. It was just I never went back to it after that. I guess like I probably could do it. I'm sure.
Same. That's the only trophy I don't have on that game.
Same here.
I never, and I got really close to finishing it one time. I remember I put in like a couple days almost worth of time. Like I was like, I'm going to get this. I came close, and it's like,
Yeah,
and I just
it's
never
hard.
came back to it. It is hard, yeah.
Because I remember feeling like a lot of it too was like sort of RNG, like RNG heavy, like based on what puzzles you got at what point in it, sort of thing.
Yeah,
It was tough though.
I agree.
But that game
It
was
was
excellent
tough.
though. Like I loved like the mystery of the world and stuff, and it was kind of like Myst in a lot of ways.
Yes, yeah. I think that was the main inspiration for it. I think.
Yeah. Just with like really weird like line drawing puzzles and stuff. Like.
Yeah. Yeah. Really
like
cool.
I wasn't sure if I was gonna like it though, but then I sort of like read all these like interesting comparisons to like just how much like I like stuff with like a lot of mystery. Like if you don't really know what's happening and you're trying to like figure it out as you go along, like I really like stuff like that.
Yeah, same here. I like exploring and finding the story yourself.
Exactly, yeah.
Or discovering yourself, yeah.
Yeah, Doc White talked a lot about that game to me. He really wanted me to play it. So, like an idiot, I started like looking up things about it, and I spoiled the big
And I told him not to do it. Too. I said, don't
yeah.
spoiler heavy.
Well, it's not like I meant to. It's it's the internet. It's just
for sure.
I was just trying to read about the game, trying to look for reviews and stuff like that, and yeah, so that kind of spoiled the game for me. But I still should go back and play it sometime. I got like maybe a quarter of the way through it.
Nice. It's definitely like if you're into like puzzle games and stuff and like mini puzzles, like it's cool too because you sort of have like you can solve the individual puzzles and you can if you just want to solve like one or two at a time, you can do that and then take a break, or like you can go into deep and play for a long time, and there's a lot of stuff to do and explore.
Yeah, you can approach the game however you want and go at your own pace, which is really nice, I think.
Yeah.
Game I would like to shout out because I've told Doc White too, he needs to play it. I fell in love with it. It's called Outer Wilds, and it's also a similar like puzzle game. It's not The Outer Worlds by Obsidian. Outer Wilds.
The Outer Wilds.
I fell in love with that. I love that so much. I had to send the developers a message about how much I love that game. So
yeah,
I think people should check it out.
Nice, man. Yeah, I've heard so much good stuff about that game too. Like I feel like I should check it out at some point. It's not that long either, is it?
No, you could probably beat it in like 5 or 6 hours. If you actually know what to do, you can beat it in like within the first 10 minutes of it. But it's a puzzle game that it's all about knowledge. The more knowledge you build up about the game and its universe, the more you can figure out the puzzles. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I've seen it. It looks really interesting because you can you have to go to different planets and they all have their own different biospheres and stuff like that.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It looks pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
Now, I guess I already kind of glanced upon this, but do you guys have a favorite rap album, both past and present?
Let me think. You want to start, Crushed Eyes?
I'm thinking. I think I have to say 2001 is probably my favorite rap album. Probably of all time. I mean, that's a tough question, but yeah, 2001 has a special place in my heart by Dr. Dre. More recent, I think I really loved To Pimp a Butterfly by Kendrick Lamar.
Nice.
I think I'd say those are my top two. Or at least they come to mind right now.
Yeah, that's what comes to mind.
It's funny because I'm about to say I was going to say, for me, I'm going to say the Chronic by Dr. Dre and Good Kid, Mad City by Kendrick Lamar, but just to change up a little bit, I'm going to say Aquemini by Outkast. I'll throw that in there just to change it up. I like that a lot, too.
That's funny because I like Stankonia better.
Do you really?
Yeah, I really do. It's funny because him and we've always liked the same artist, but we never agree on
the album.
the same album. Never.
Yeah. Which
is good. It's first of all, it speaks about artists, right, and how good they are, but also good to have different opinions.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, for sure.
For another newer album, I'd say "Summertime '06" by Vince Staples. If we want someone besides Kendrick Lamar, that's a really good album too. So.
Nice.
Yeah.
What's with the sample and the chorus of "Money's in the Bank"? Like, is that a sample? It kind of sounds something about a part in that sounds familiar to me. I don't know if it's actually a sample or not.
No, that's all. No, there's no sample in that song.
All us. Yeah,
that's all us. Yeah.
Okay, because like I was under the like for some reason there's something about it. There's the one part in it. It sounds very much like a '90s like J-pop song or something that I've heard before.
I never heard much J-pop. Maybe I should if it sounds like our stuff.
I can't remember what song it was that like I thought it sounded very similar to, but it was just funny because like I was listening to it. I was like, I wonder if these guys are like really into old like '90s J-pop and stuff like that.
No, that's yeah. There's actually no samples at all in the whole album.
Nice.
Yeah. So.
Yeah,
mainly because I was afraid we couldn't get clearance. Because we had samples in some older songs like the original "Where the Perp." That's one of the main reasons we re-recorded the new version of "Where the Perp." We wrote that song was because I figured we couldn't get sample clearance. So we made sure not to have any samples in the new stuff. So
that's cool. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but yeah, I know what you're saying. It's like you have to sort of get the permission or get the clearance or whatever.
Yeah.
To be able to feature those. Now, would you be able to elaborate at all on like the like I know the game was up on the PlayStation Network for a long time, and then from what I understand, it was taken down for a very brief period of time. Like, did you ever find anything out about that or no?
Well, it actually went offline again on Friday.
like this last Friday?
Yeah. Yes. It went off a second time on the 28th, and we're preparing. We're trying to get ready to make like an official statement about it this coming week.
Okay.
But so just stay tuned for that.
That's cool.
I mean, we'll have some. Obviously, it's bad news about it being taken off again, but we'll try to have some good news in there as well. I know a lot of people are going to be disappointed, but we'll give some good news with the bad news when we make that statement.
Yeah, no worries, man. If you guys can't say anything about it, that's cool. Just say so. I was just wondering if you had any news on it.
Well, yeah, we're just gonna hold off for now because, like you were saying, like I don't want to bum everybody out, and we're in the middle of still trying. We want to be able to announce some good news alongside the bad news.
Yeah.
So everybody's not just disappointed. So.
Can we? Do you think we could expect like a sequel or more DLC for the game?
I think we're probably going to move on from the DLC stuff for now. It's too early to say if we'll come. I mean, I think we'll come back with a new project, some type of at least a spiritual successor, but I'm not really sure what it will look like. But we'll be back with something. Right now, I just don't know what it's going to look like. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's understandable. Do you want to give like a shout out to your what was your previous game called again?
Oh, so okay, I put out a couple of games. These are all on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Switch.
Yeah.
So the first game is called Pillar, and the other game is called The Path of Modus. And both of those are puzzle games, a lot of puzzle elements, but I'd say The Path of Modus is more of a puzzle platformer, and Pillar is just a pure puzzler, I'd say. Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Is there anything you want to say about those, or like?
Oh, sure. I mean, I can give the pitch for them, I guess. So in Pillar, basically what that is it's a collection of mini games where each game features a different character you play as with a different personality. So it's really inspired by psychology, and each character, as you play, the gameplay is different, and the gameplay represents their personality. So if that's confusing, let me give an example. So if you play as an introverted character, there are more stealth mechanics where if you're around others for too long, your energy starts to drain. And then if you play as an extroverted character, you have to work together with other characters to solve puzzles, and so on and so forth. So it has a lot of inspiration from psychology and like personality tests and things like that. And then The Path of Modus is more of a story-based puzzle platformer, I'd say. You're playing as this little goblin character named Modus, and he's from a village that's been trapped in the forest for hundreds of years. No one's found a way out, but he's trying to be the first one to get through by building these bridges through the forest. So there's some puzzle elements with that. But in between building these bridges, he meets evil goblins or bullies that try and stop him with their own words. So there's like this verbal combat where like they shout words, and there's different colored words you have to match and like shout words back, almost kind of like a Skyrim like dragon shout type of gameplay, I guess.
Okay.
So so they're both very puzzle based, but I'd say Pillar is more abstract, and the Path of Modus has a more clear like narrative behind it. Yeah,
that's cool. The Path of Modus, or sorry, Pillar. That sounds almost like kind of like does it have like a bit of like a Psychonauts vibe to it, or?
I've never played that game, but maybe. I'm not sure. Does that game have what's that game about?
It doesn't really have like specifically like a matching system like that, like based on like the personality traits and stuff like that, but it's kind of like it explores the depths of like different personalities of like people's minds and stuff.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. Was that a Tim Schafer game?
It was a Tim Schafer game, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Okay, I never played that, but I've seen it.
Nice.
I'm not. Was there a sequel? Is that what you asked?
Psychonauts 2 was coming out, or
I'm not
yeah.
sure.
Yeah, Psychonauts 2 is like in development. I have no idea when it's coming out, but
long time.
Never. Like Duke Nukem Forever.
Pretty much, except that game actually came out and it was
I remember why I bought that. I was like, this is probably going to suck, but it was like this thing you could troll people with. I remember I trolled Crush Ice with it all the time. I was like, "Dude, you want to borrow Duke Nukem Forever and play it?" And he's like, "I'm not going to put that in my Xbox."
I think I played the demo and I was like, okay.
I mean, I will say I enjoyed the nostalgic. Like, it had a real '90s feel to the level design, which I liked. But the load times were horrendous. Like there was so much wrong with it. But it was a nice like '90s throwback. But of course, it wasn't. I don't think that was the intention of it. It wasn't intended to be a '90s throwback. It was just in development for so long, you know.
Yeah. I think it just had like a lot of the traits.
If you want a good '90s throwback game, just play like Doom Eternal or Doom 2016. I don't know why you'd put yourself through Duke Nukem Forever.
Yeah, Doom and Doom Eternal are excellent games. Doom Eternal was so much fun. I love that game.
Yeah, I loved both of those games.
Yeah, they were very fun.
Speaking of like that nostalgic like '90s shooter, I also enjoyed the Wolfenstein, the newer. Well, besides Youngblood.
Yeah.
Besides Youngblood, but the New Order and the New Colosseum were great as well.
Yeah, I need to play those still. I've played both of the modern Dooms, but I haven't played the Wolfenstein games, and I've heard they're very excellent.
Yeah, if you like the Dooms, you'll definitely like them, I think.
Yeah, it seems that way. Now, was there any like you guys want to do any sort of like shoutouts or whatever to like anything? Anything cool going on in your lives? Anything you want to talk about? Any shoutouts?
Yeah, sure. I mean, we can always plug our stuff. So, if you want to follow, check out our music, whatever, just interact with White Boyz Wit Attitude. However, you can check us out on YouTube. We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook and Twitter. And the easiest way to find all of that stuff is to just go to our website, wwarap.com. You'll find the links for everything there. Last time we checked, the album and the DLC is still online on PS4. So if you're someone that has played the game and you didn't pick up the DLC yet, or you want to pick up the album on PS4, be sure to do that because it's probably going to be gone in a week. So limited time offer right here. But you can check all that out on wwarap.com. And I mean, thanks for having us on, and we hope people enjoy the music, and it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, no problem, guys. Crushed Ice, how about you?
No, I'm good. I think Doc White said everything that needed to be said.
Nice.
So yeah, thank you for having us. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, you're very welcome. I appreciate you guys being on here and everything. I hope everything works out with the game. Like it sounds like a crazy situation, and like I'm glad I was able to grab it while I could and play through it, because it's definitely provided me like I'll be honest, like when I first played it, I was like what is like I think everyone when they first saw it without realizing what it was and like thinking about it, they were like, oh, what is this? Like it's some weird free game like promoting a random rap album, right? Like no one really understands what's happening. But after I played it for a little bit and I thought about it a little bit more, and like that's hilarious. It's really cool.
Thank you. Yeah, it's awesome
Thanks.
to hear you say that. That's the reaction we were hoping for. We wanted it to be like this funny, like, oh, let's check out the free games in the store. Oh my God, what's this? Like, that was definitely the reaction we were going for.
That's actually literally what happened, because like I do this thing on my stream every week now where like I go through the, not necessarily like the free games, but I'll just go through the games and like see if there's anything new that came out that like I can watch a trailer for. That's like, I'll just watch games that have like weird names and stuff, and I'm like, oh, what? Let's watch the trailer for that. It might be like something funny or something.
Yeah,
just to watch like obscure games and promote like obscure games and watch the trailers for them, and I kind of do that. And
yeah, for sure.
I saw White Boyz Wit Attitude, and I was like, okay, it's free, sure, I'll download it. It's hilarious. So I started playing it, and I was like, oh man, it's a rhythm game, cool. So I like rhythm games, so I was like, okay, and I literally I had planned on playing, I believe it may have been Ghost of Tsushima, I can't quite remember. It was or The Last of Us 2, one of those two. But I'd been planning on playing those for the rest of the night on my stream after, like, like 20 minutes of playing this or something. But I ended up playing it, like, the entire night.
That's awesome.
That's great.
That's so awesome, man. Yeah, that's so cool.
It's pretty funny. But, yeah, no, thanks. I really appreciate the interview, guys. Hope everything works out with the game. And keep everyone updated on your Twitter.
For sure, man. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us, man. Yeah,
cheers, guys. Have a great weekend. Or I guess this is the start of the week. Have a great week.
You too.
Take care.
See you later.